Lionel Messi was supposed to be finished. 10 days ago, he sat alone on the grass at MetLife Stadium, tears streaming down his face, a silver medal around his neck, and every headline on the planet wrote the same eulogy: the greatest player who ever lived, gone. He isn't. While FIFA was silently building a disciplinary file thick enough to bury Argentina, Messi and his camp were reportedly deciding something nobody predicted: whether he actually plays on for his country, and for how long. That decision is now on a direct collision course with an active FIFA investigation that could blow the whole thing up. Here's the full story, and it is not the ending anyone saw coming. Let's get into it. To understand why Messi's next move landed like a thunderclap, you need to remember exactly what he was walking away from. Argentina didn't just lose the World Cup final. They lost it, then brawled over it, then got investigated for it. A vanishing red card, one of the coaching staff caught on camera striking an opponent, a Falklands banner case still sitting open from the semi-final. Two active FIFA probes, running at the same time, both with Argentina's name on the file. Messi said nothing publicly in the aftermath, not a word. He shook hands with every Spanish player, grieved quietly, and let the chaos around him speak for itself. Everyone assumed silence meant goodbye. For nearly a week, that assumption hardened into fact. Headlines called it his last dance. Pundits replayed his tears in slow motion. The story practically wrote itself. 39 years old, 6th World Cup, heartbreaking final defeat, walk into the sunset. Even the boots fueled it, the ones stitched with the words, "The Last Tango." Every signal pointed one direction, and then the coverage out of Argentina started moving the opposite way. Here is the part that stunned people who thought they already knew the ending. According to multiple reports out of Argentina, Messi is not walking away. Not yet. Argentine national team insider Gaston Edul of TISC Sports reported that the World Cup final will not be his last appearance at international level. The plan being described from inside the camp is not a quiet exit, it's a runway. Messi continues with the national team for months to come, while the federation works toward a full home soil tribute match, a proper send-off on Argentine turf for the fans who never got to say goodbye. Some accounts go even further, floating the 2028 Copa America as a realistic finish line. That is not retirement. That is a farewell tour nobody scripted for him. He didn't decide this in a vacuum either. Former teammate Angel Di Maria, speaking to TNT Sports, made his position clear, insisting Messi should keep playing for as long as he wants, and calling him the greatest the sport has ever produced. That is not a throwaway compliment. That is a former World Cup winning teammate publicly lobbying the greatest player alive to stay right when the entire country assumed he was gone. And Messi himself never actually closed the door. Before the tournament, when asked directly about playing on, his answer was conditional, not final. As long as he can contribute, feel good physically, and help his teammates. He never says never. He just lets time decide, and right now, time is apparently deciding in Argentina's favor. But here's where the story stops being heartwarming and turns into a collision course. Because Messi's decision to keep playing puts him on a direct path through the middle of FIFA's disciplinary storm. Leandro Paredes briefly avoided sanction after his red card was quietly removed from the referee's report, which FIFA called an administrative error. The investigation into the throat grab stays open regardless. Enzo Fernandez's automatic ban from his second yellow doesn't disappear either. It simply gets postponed, expected to be served whenever Argentina next steps onto a competitive pitch, likely a World Cup qualifier window in September. Assistant coach Roberto Ayala remains under review for the incident with Dani Olmo. The Falklands banner case from the semi-final is still active. None of it vanished just because the tournament ended. Think about what that actually means. The plan is to keep Messi in an Argentina shirt for months, possibly years, while his own federation is simultaneously fighting two open FIFA cases stemming from the very tournament he just finished. Every future call-up, every appearance, every headline about his farewell tour now runs next to a parallel headline about suspensions and fines. A disciplinary file that keeps getting thicker, He spent the final trying to calm his teammates down before kickoff. Now he's being asked to be the calm, dignified face of a federation that can't stop generating scandals. That is not the storybook ending anyone imagined for him 10 days ago. And that's the part catching people off guard. Not that Messi wants to keep playing, longtime fans always suspected he'd never fully let go, but the timing. A captain widely assumed to be finished is instead being positioned for a prolonged, emotional send-off, stretched out over multiple fixtures, while the same federation stages that farewell under the shadow of active FIFA scrutiny. Argentina wanted a clean, triumphant goodbye for their greatest player. What they may be building instead is a tribute tour that plays out one headline away from a suspension update. Convenient, right? Two clocks are now running at once, and neither one is under Argentina's full control. One clock counts down to Messi's actual final international appearance, a moment now deliberately delayed rather than delivered in the heat of a losing final. The other clock is FIFA's, working through a disciplinary and ethics prosecutor deciding whether Paredes, Almada, Ayala, or the federation itself face real consequences for a tournament that produced two separate open cases. History says FIFA usually blinks, a fine here, a slap there, pocket change compared to the offense. But this time, the file is thicker than it has ever been, and the world is watching to see which version of FIFA shows up while Messi's victory lap send-off plays out in the background. Heartbreak, tears, silence, exit. That's how the story looked 10 days ago. Instead, Messi appears to be doing what he has done his entire career, refusing to let anyone else write the final line for him. Whether that farewell tour actually reaches a stadium in Argentina or gets swallowed by whatever FIFA decides to do next is still completely unwritten. So here's the real question. Should Messi get his full, drawn-out farewell tour, regardless of what FIFA decides about his teammates? Or does the ongoing investigation mean Argentina doesn't get a clean send-off story at all? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section, and before you leave, don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss the next one.